Welcome back to the Planning Pulse podcast. My name is Matt Harvison. With me, as always, is my good friend and senior solution consultant, Beau Mellin. Beau, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Matt. I'm gonna be the one demoing today, so I'm doing even better. No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the episode today.
I love that. Honestly, I love getting the opportunity to do demonstrations, but I love even more that you like to make it a little bit more competitive about who's going to be able to do a better demonstration for this, which particular episode of the podcast that we're recording here. So, really fired up for today's episode. I know that's usually your line is that you're fired up, but I'm the one that gets to be fired up today. Really excited about the topic that we're going to be talking about, which is what if scenario analysis, leveraging version controls, personal what if scenarios, and being able to really deep dive into what some of those changes can look like, and then doing a little bit of reporting as well to do some side by side analysis. So, well, this is one of those topics that we get hit with all the time. Is it
Yeah.
possible to do what if scenario analysis inside of adaptive? And the short answer is always yes, it is. We always want to talk a little bit about what is your use case going to look like. Today, we're going to be talking about a few different options that are available for you, and we want to walk you through that side by side reporting functionality as well. So, Beau, maybe give us a little bit of a preview about what we're going to be looking at inside of the demonstration today. Talk us through maybe some scenarios or conversations you're having on a daily
Yeah.
basis with customers, prospects, and talk a little bit about what if scenario analysis.
100%. And this is a, area of functionality and adaptive I really enjoy. I would say it's maybe what, a year old, maybe, Matt. We did an episode early on around versions, right? That's something that for most of our customers, depending on some security permissions you have, that it's an iteration of the forecast that everyone can see. If I'm on Matt's team and he wants me to go make a tweak in the working budget or the working forecast, but not have it impact the budget that everyone else in the company is working on, I now can go spin up a new what if scenario on it and share it with a couple different users inside of the tool without impacting the overall drivers for the budget that, all of the department leads are working in. Because we want adaptive to be decentralized. We want as many people working in the tool as possible. And now these scenarios can allow people to kind of have their own sandbox-ish environment and adjust some drivers and share it with other people if they want. And then maybe, that change looks good in the new scenario. We want to merge it back to the base version, right? We'll be showing all that off today, Matt. And I think it's something that a lot of our customers are really excited about. Some of them are leveraging it, but since it's still a pretty new solution, it's something, or, pretty new feature inside of adaptive, some customers are still learning about it. Some don't even know about it yet, right? So it's something that, I'm excited to show off today.
Yeah, and I think it's really important difference. Like you mentioned, we've talked about versions before. What if scenario analysis has always been possible inside of adaptive through your typical or standard version controls? What we're really focusing on today is going to be those personal what if scenarios. Just like you mentioned, it's going and being able to make changes to drivers, assumptions, seeing what that impact would have, and then merging that into the existing live working budget version. So a lot of times we have conversations with our customers, and they say something like, what if I have three people working inside of the same sheet making tweaks or making changes? What's going to happen in that scenario? Well, this
Yep.
is one of those ways to be able to mitigate that risk. We have your different team members operating inside of their scenarios, and then we can merge those together once we've gotten the approvals to do so. So
Yep.
really looking forward to the demo for us today. Beau, why don't we go ahead and dive right in?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So we're gonna make a couple changes in a couple different models today. I'm gonna start off inside of our an OpEx model, see the changes flow through, and then from there we're gonna flow and change some revenue data as well, some sales drivers, and then we'll it'll even sprinkle in a little bit of a reporting demo in here as well. And so right now we're sitting inside of our direct entry OpEx model where we've got cost centers, GL accounts, vendors, text description, and then our budget and our forecast over here on the right. Everybody, that's in adaptive today knows about versions, right? Like you said, we've talked about it, but today we're talking about this new scenario. It's going to pop up right here for you, right in that version selector. And when I go ahead and select this, it's going to prompt me with a screen and it's going to say, all right, make a new scenario. And we can basically say which version of our, budget or forecast or rolling, 3+9, whatever. What do we want to leverage as our, initial copy of all of that data? Well, I want to make a tweak to the data and compare it against my working budget. So I'm going to keep that as my base version. and then you can go ahead and title your scenario. Today we'll do it the planning pulse. And then I'm going to go ahead and click create, and it's going to go ahead and switch me over here in the top right. If you're following my cursor, you'll see it was the working budget, and now we're sitting inside of the planning pulse scenario. I can go ahead and expand that. We see it, collapse and or expand. You can go ahead and see it roll right up to that original version we made a copy off of. Matt, maybe you come to me and you say, I want you to go ahead and run a report and see what it would do to our financials if, our OPEX went up by 5% across the entire organization. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the next year of all of our operating budget data. I'm going to go ahead and right click on it. I'm going to click adjust. I'm going to come on here. This is another feature I'd say not everybody knows about, but it's pretty cool. There's some nice features. Do I want to do it off of a dollar amount, percentage amount? We're going to go ahead and tweak everything up by 5%. I go ahead and click OK. Now we see our data updates. I click save. And what we're about to see is like something that a lot of our customers really enjoy, and something that I find a lot of value of the tool is boom, everything's highlighted. The reason for that, Matt, we want to be able to see what's different in our planning pulse scenario versus that working budget. If I went back to that working budget, this wouldn't be highlighted. So we know this is different here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having the yellow highlight, being immediately identifiable is something that all of our customers are really enjoying, the ones that are using the personal what if scenario analysis, knowing exactly which cell the change was made. Because a lot of times in your example, you went through and you highlighted everything, made the adjustment, just broad scale adjustment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's picking and pulling and choosing. And, I know we've got another example today that you're going to be doing again on product, but a lot of times these changes are happening also in something like personnel, where we're adding new hires, we're putting in, pay raise changes or anything type of merit. Those are one-off cell adjustments, and having the highlight allows us to immediately identify where that change was made.
Yeah, 100%. I did it on all, but I went ahead over into the next year and just changed one. And if I go ahead and see that, right, it can be a one-off deal too, pretty quickly and easily. So that's the first change Matt wanted us to make. So we want to go ahead and update OPEX. Now, we've done full episodes on sheet types, right? This is a cube model here. Go check out that episode. And in this model, we're forecasting out revenue, gross profit, margin, COGS. You can see all of this flowing through. Now, the data on our cube sheet is referencing a lot of back-end drivers. So if I go ahead and jump on over to a sales drivers cube, you can see right now we have all of our different SKUs, all of our offerings. And right now we're filtered and we're on our pricing structure here. So in this example now, for products, for the first 5 or 4 products, A1 through A4, we're going to go ahead and tweak these up by 7.5%. So when I go ahead and do that, this offering's been crushing it for us lately. What would it look like if we tweaked the price up on this model a little bit and our demand stayed the exact same for it? What would be the impact to our net revenue and our gross profit? Maybe let me go ahead real quick, jump on back over. So you got to make sure you're working in the scenario, not the base version. And so we're going to go ahead and highlight this. And I upped my working budget by 7.5. So let's do this. Let's up this by 15%. Now I'm going to go ahead and tweak that. Click OK. You can see, all right, adjustment made. We're in the planning pulse version scenario. Save my change. Now we can see the pricing structure change on A. And if I come on back to my cube sheet, right, let's just take a look at product A1. What was the revenue for 2024? 4.6 million. Let's go ahead and jump on over to our planning pulse scenario. And now we can see, 4.9 million here. And so now, though, a nice, really good way, Matt, is now we'll jump into a report and show it off this way. And so, I built a little bit of the report out where we have those OPEX accounts and the net revenue and the gross profit, but we want to be able to actually leverage all of those changes that we made inside of our report now, right? So what we're going to go ahead and do is bring that into our report. Let's just go ahead and clean this up, and we're going to go ahead and open up. We can see, all right, there's that planning pulse scenario. It's immediately able to be reported on. I drag that and I drop that over here. And now we can leverage just the out-of-the-box calculations in reporting, right? And in this one, we want to do a dollar variance. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we also, Matt, want to take a look at it on a percentage basis as well. So I drag and drop that again, and we're going to say percentage variance. And now I click, change it, look at it as a percent. I go ahead and run my report. And now in a pretty quick and easy way, we're able to see there's that 5% change that we adjusted on our OPEX side by GL account, working budget versus planning pulse scenario, dollar variance, percent variance. Now, if I scroll on down, we can see what's the impact to the net revenue. And then after we keep flowing, and in the cube we saw we had some discounting available and some cost of goods sold, right? What's the actual gross profit and gross margin on that? And we can kind of see that flow through products A1, A2, A3, A4 after we made those changes. So it allows, Matt, for a lot of quick flexibility and agility of when we bake that base version or make that base version, we can adjust it on a scenario, quickly report on it, right? So it gives us a lot of nice abilities there to run those reports comparing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I would also say is this side-by-side comparative reporting power that you've got here. I know that we've dug into reports in the past. We'll probably come back to reports again in the future because it really is the fun part of financial planning, right? Financial reporting is always the reporting outputs. But as you can see here, you would have the ability or could have the ability to even go a step further, making this report a little bit more in depth, having a drop down for different
Yep.
versions, having your drop downs for different fiscal years, drop downs for different accounts, a lot of different functionality that's going to be available from a reporting perspective. But you can really quickly, really easily spin up the side-by-side comparative analysis here inside of a report like this.
100%. And last thing I want to hit on here today, Matt, is I want to be able to maybe merge that, or I would want to be able to see the changes that I made, right? So now there's this scenarios tab. I went ahead and I can open this up, and we're going to go on over to another new tab. And now we see our planning pulse scenario, right? Here's what we've been working in today. When did we make that scenario? What's the base version that this was copied off of? Maybe I want to download those changes out into a, CSV and take a look at it there. The cool part, right, is that we can say, Matt said, let's make our budget 5% higher in OpEx. Let's have 7.5% higher pricing on products A1 through A4. I can go ahead and click merge. And when I go ahead and I merge this, all the changes made in this on those highlighted areas would be now reflected on my working budget. And so I can make an update. If the couple people I go ahead and I share that to, they can take a look and see, that looks good, merge it. And now that's in the official working budget, and the planning pulse scenario won't be there anymore as well. So the merging piece is really nice as well, Matt.
Yeah, I would agree. It's something that a lot of our customers in the past always wanted to do. It's, if I'm in a what if scenario and I make a tweak or make a change, how can then I then migrate that into my existing working budget? Well, it didn't exist before, right? This is an enhancement that's come out from Workday, continual reinvestment back into the tool. But now as you're making tweaks, changes, what if scenarios, just like we talked about, you can then migrate or populate that into your working budget. Maybe you've got somebody like Beau who's responsible for the personnel planning part of the process. Maybe you've got someone like Matt who's responsible for the revenue side of the planning process. Beau's making tweaks and edits. We don't have to completely tell Matt to stop working in the working budget version. He can continue working, but then Beau can merge his changes into the same exact version. So the ability to have different parties operating in the same version, spin up their what if scenarios, go through financial approvals, merge those values into that same constant working budget or working forecast version that you got is an incredibly powerful enhancement that has come out from Workday. I know, but we've sort of been in this mode lately where we've been doing these mini series, and we've been really excited about them because, it's really nice to get in and start to do some deep dives into specific topics.
Yeah.
But something like scenario analysis, personal what if scenario analysis, it's such a key topic that we want to give it its own full episode. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to go through this today. Beau, any closing thoughts, anything that you want to mention about personal what if scenarios to make sure, our listeners maybe follow when they're going through building their own?
Yeah, I know. I think it's just something that, like I said, a lot of our customers have been asking for. And now that we have it, they're all really excited. They're easy to work with. If you go in and you click the little question mark in the top right of your instance, it'll give you a lot of great documentation on it. And you talked about miniseries, right? This being a software release, we're gearing up for R1 here pretty soon in March as well. So I'm sure we'll be doing some new podcasts on what's coming in those releases as well. So just excited that Workday's constantly investing and innovating back into adaptive and taking the adaptive community's thoughts into account as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're a first time listener of the Planning Pulse podcast, I would encourage you to go back to our YouTube channel, watch our previous episodes. We hit on a lot of great things from workforce planning to how to set up your level structure, how to think about users, permissions. We even got into a little bit of what are our favorite features at one point. But I encourage you to go back, take a look at our YouTube channel, and then use this particular example in your instance moving forward. How can we start to get more people involved? How can we get people to spin up their own what if scenarios and then do some side by side reporting? So, really appreciate you all tuning in today. Be sure to look out for us in the future. We've got another episode, like Beau mentioned, with R1 coming out here shortly, 2025 R1. We're going to have another mini series that's fully dedicated to all of those new releases. But you can plan on seeing us again here in the near future. I don't know, Beau, is there anything else that you wanted to hit our listeners with?
No, I'm excited for the next mini series that we're going to cook up.
All right. Absolutely. We'll catch us next week. You can plan on it.